Uh, at Holy Angels, we had a program in which we honored every month some man who had stood out for various reasons. And there were a lot of politicians and bankers and lawyers and all that. And they had all done many things to benefit the black community. But the principal, who was a black priest, Father Paul Smith, he and I said, you know, when you really look at this whole racial situation, there is no one that we can think of who has really done more for the black community in Chicago than George O'Hare. And of course, George being an Irishman, we were reluctant to say that we should honor him, obviously because can you call him a black man of the month, as white as he is? And then we said, well, you know, this whole thing transcends color, race. We're talking about someone who has really been beneficial to our community. And so we should at least make the offer and let him reject it if he wants to. So that's what we did. We called George O'Hare and we said, George, we want to honor you and call you the Black Man of the Month. However, we'd like to first of all find out how you felt about this. And George told us, well, I would be very honored. And then we said, well, you know, there's one thing now. You might feel this way, but what about your family? If we're going to honor you, we would want them to be there. And so why don't you find out and let us know? He said he would. And then, George, I think what happened is you went to your wife and your children and told them about what Holy Angels wanted to do. And as far as I can remember, you said they were very apprehensive about this. You want to take it from there?
Well, they were shocked, as I was shocked. And but then it wasn't a long period of shockness. They was, well, Dad, if you think that's the right thing to do, you know. And I said, of course I think it's the right thing to do, but I just wanted to be sure that you're not going to be unhappy about what I'm doing.
Right.
And I said, no, we're doing. So then it took place. I'd actually had to invite them to come, and they did come.
Yeah, and when they came, I'll never forget you all coming through the front door of the church, and the church was jammed, and when you walked in, then everybody stood up and started applauding. And I remember your wife and your kids, they were so amazed at what was happening, and they were elated, as I recall.
Mm-hmm. I remember that very vividly.
Yeah, but it wasn't anything like what they had expected.
No. Well, nothing was like, and that's a very important thing you just said. Expected. What is expected? Well, in those days, there was black and white segregation. And it just didn't happen, integration. But it was starting to have things happening, and this was one that was in the Catholic Church, obviously. It was, what's the cardinal going to say? And that's the part that we were kind of shocked over too.
Yeah, because actually what happened is the news media really played this up. It was all over TV. It was splashed all over the Trib and the Sun-Times, and it was something really different. It grabbed the headlines, and so much so until Time Magazine said it was one of the biggest events of the year, and it got a lot of play in Time Magazine.
It was in my life. It was my life. It was the pinnacle of my happiness of being recognized in that way, because I really go back to my own life before being in the civil rights movement, being a part of it. I was just another racist, white, Irish Catholic, racist, anti-Jewish, anti-Polish, anti-German, anything that wasn't Irish. And I was that way. We were brought up to be that way. And then I met Dick Gregory, Father Clements, Bill Cosby, and other black history people in the world. Then started reading. That's the part that got to me. Go to the library and go to a white librarian and say, I'd like to get some pictures or information about black people who invented things. Well, I'm not sure. Oh, here, put it out. Then we get the book. It's there.
Yeah.
But then that's when it came to my real attention, how deprived people were prior to the civil rights movement from getting history of black history. And Dempsey Travis wrote the book. Dempsey Travis, the truth about the book of black history. And he wrote several books on that subject.
Right.
He was a real estate agent, multi-millionaire, and decided to write books, and he wrote them all on that subject. Well, I should say all, and there was a lot of other ones too.